Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Lee Summit High School. The setting tonight for a crosstown rivalry between Lee Summit North, who is currently 0-5 at the moment, a rough start for them, and Lee Summit High School, who is 7-2 at the moment, coming off of a 61-57 win over Warrensburg. We, of course, here for just a moment will join everybody else in the building here and go quiet as the colors are presented and the national anthem is sung. So if you'd give us just a brief moment, we'll give you a little more of a rundown here in just a moment. But for now, we'll bow out in respect.
Both schools are proud members of the Missouri State High School Activities Association. We remind students, parents, and fans of both schools this game is competitive. It is also an educational experience for all players and students. Let's refrain from negative cheers, chants, and behavior. Thank you to fans from both schools for cooperation throughout the game. There are no concessions for this evening's event, and please refrain from coming onto the court at the end of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, you may stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of the national anthem. The colors tonight are being presented by Lee Summit High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard, and the national anthem is being sung by South Summit member Tyson Turner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we was, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, well, there you have it. Obviously representing America here. So the American national anthem. I think it's a pretty good one, Alex, if you'd agree.
I'd say it's up there.
At the moment, receiving the starting lineups here for Lee Summit North. A big story tonight, Davis Childs, of course, a former Tiger, and now obviously representing the Crimson and Silver of Lee Summit North.
Senior number 22, Jeremy Moore. Now the Lee Summit Tigers. Junior number 2, Alex Mondesi. Junior number 3, Kaden McGuire. Junior number 4, Bryson LaRue. Junior number 15, Luke McDonald. Junior number 21, Monte Hill. Broncos are coached by Mike Hilbert. Tigers are coached by Blake Little.
There you go, the starting lineups for tonight's contest. 8 minutes put on the clock. Lee Summit and Lee Summit North live from Lee Summit High School. Going to be a good one here, Alex. Any predictions for this one? Obviously, if records say anything, we should have a pretty clear outcome here tonight.
Yeah, anything based off that previous JV game, I think the Tigers will be in pretty good shape. But the story for the Broncos tonight, they have to put the ball in the basket. They've broken 50 once this year in their 5 games, and they've just struggled offensively all year long. But the Tigers without Max Wisner could struggle on the inside defending, but we'll see what happens tonight.
Well, and you mentioned that stat, breaking 50. That was just their most recent game against Liberty. The final score in that one, 76-52. So offense clearly a problem, and it sounds like defense might be a little bit as well here tonight. And against a Tiger team like this that's able to score the basketball pretty well, you might think that that's going to be an issue. Something wrong here with the jump ball. We'll go ahead and get things started for a second time here tonight. The tip will find its way at a certain point to Lee Summit. Monte Kemp, the one down low, doing the dirty work tonight. First chance for him, a little spin move down low, no good. And Davis Childs will bring it up here momentarily before handing off to Mac Armstrong. Tigers in a man-to-man here tonight to start off the contest. Armstrong again on that far side. Top of the key, now down low, Jeremy Moore, poked away by Alex Benassi. It'll stay here, though. Last touched by him.
These last few games by Benassi, he has just been an absolute swiper of the ball. He is just stealing left and right. He's really doing a great job of taking the balls from the guards.
Benassi, very quick hands. You'll see that when he gets the ball. He's got a good handle on it, and obviously very good at stealing it away for his team, like we saw there just a moment ago. They're once again getting a hand on it as they try to dish it down low. Armstrong keeps hold of it. LaRue nearly taking that one away. Now a double down inside. Here's Jeremy Moore on the low block, going up, no good. Bryson LaRue will get the rebound going the other way. The Tigers pushing it in transition. Benassi slowing it down a little bit, finding LaRue at the top. Now Kemp down low, going to work on the block. Back outside, and the Tigers will set up in their offense here a little bit instead of getting an early bucket. Kemp now, another spin move down low. That pass to LaRue is a little lazy, gets tipped away, but it'll stay in Tiger possession. Neither team finding the bottom of the net here, a minute and 30 in. Here's LaRue from the elbow, and the Tigers' leading scorer is going to be the first one to do it tonight.
14.9 points a game, and he's already on the scoreboard.
Max Armstrong now top of the key for North. McGee, Davis, and now inside again to Moore. They're going to try to keep hammering it down in there. LaRue gets a hand on it this time. It's going to be him that's going to try to finish it off. A little Euro step in the paint. And the roll off the rim and into the bucket. He's got 4 of the Tigers' 4 already to this point tonight. Here's Moore at the top. Davis Childs now. One-on-one with McGuire. Gets it up to the top of the key once again. Windsor coming inside, swatted away. Back down into Moore. Monte Kemp lost his position a moment ago. McGuire gets another hand on it. The ball still being batted around. North unable to convert at the rim. Moore diving for it and giving it right to Kemp. Once again, here comes the Tigers. LaRue, a fancy pass to McGuire. It was a little high. He's unable to control it.
If the Broncos continue to turn the ball over like that, it's going to be a long night for their guards.
And that's got to be one of the problems there as well. If they're not able to score the ball, you got to think that holding on to it is something they're going to have to be able to do here. And obviously every time the ball has gone down low to this point, it's been tipped away and nearly stolen just about every time. Tigers giving Jeremy Moore a problem down low. Pass down into the low block. Going up with it and no good that time is Jaden McGee. It'll stay Tiger basketball.
Tigers not an amazing rebounding team, but they seem to be dominating thus far over the Broncos forwards.
They will go ahead and overturn that call, say it was Broncos that are going to keep it. Max Armstrong will get a break here. Coming in for him, Trey Baker. Little box formation. They'll try to get it into McGee, and there's those fast hands you talked about from Benassi earlier on. He stops on the outside of the wing. Going to get it to McGuire at the top. Coming down low. The layup, and no good. Way to fight for it down low, and Monte Kemp is going to get his first 2 points of the night. And it's 6-0 Tigers here with just under 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Kick out into the corner. Here comes Baker, gets it back out top. Little crossover, tries to get down low. Davis Childs for three in the corner and a little strong. And knowing the Tigers here, they'll be letting him know about that, his good friends that he played with in the past. LaRue squared one up, no good. Child still fighting for it, getting on the ground, diving for it. His efforts are in vain. And it should be remaining Tiger basketball here down low. And this Tiger crowd would be having a good time with it if he was here. Obviously, they like to bust out the air ball chant whenever one happens. That shot pretty well defended by the Tigers, and it's going to end up in that same fashion, an air ball, whether fans are here to let them know about it or not. Benassi at the top of the key, gets it to the far side with LaRue. McGuire on the near side now. Once again, Benassi. Top of the key, driving down low. Now kicking into the corner, here's LaRue. No good on his second attempt from downtown tonight. Broncos have had pretty good ball movement tonight to this point,
but just continue to struggle. Turnovers. The Tiger defense, known for their offense this year, has a really underrated defense, I believe.
Well, once again, seeing it there, they're clearly just forcing the Broncos to be a little bit out of sorts. That time more trying to find somebody that wasn't on the court, it seems, and another turnover that time. And once again, it's Tiger basketball coming down trying to score, but for as explosive as this offense is, they've had a little bit of trouble aside from the 4 from LaRue and the 2 from Kemp. As I say that, though, the commentator curse lets itself be known as Caden McGuire are able to finish down low. 8-0 Tigers here in the first quarter. Jaden Reese with it at the top of the key. Good defense by Rob, not letting him go anywhere. McGee finds Reese once more. Driving down in low. Luke McDonald comes in there, cuts it off. Now they've got the switch they wanted. Rob now on Moore. Another kick down low. A foul is going to be called. It'll be on the floor, though. So Trey Baker got it down into good position, but a Tiger foul before any shot.
Let's see if the Broncos try to switch things up going into the second quarter, see if they can get some more outside shots or at least beyond the paint a little bit, because they are struggling to get it inside on this Tigers defense, who is even without Max Wisner. They're big guys, so.
Yeah, and Max Wisner, the big story tonight, having a collarbone surgery as the Broncos missed their second 3 of the ball game. Had surgery on his collarbone, so he'll be out for the foreseeable future, and that eliminates a lot of the Tiger presence down low. But as I say that, there's Bud Crawford. He's a big guy that likes to get it done down low as well, so we'll see if he can make his presence felt tonight. Here's Luke McDonald driving in, little floater, no good. He's going to get his own rebound there, and that's another thing the Broncos have struggled with, just not really being able to get the ball after a missed shot. In comes McGuire, it looked like, a little too hot off the glass there, and here comes the Broncos in transition. A chance to put some points on the board. Armstrong slows down a little too much, and the Tigers, once again, good defense, able to finish off the Broncos' attacking efforts, and no points on the board from them. Here's Rob wide open there for a moment on the wing. Down into Bud Crawford, no shot, finishing down low. Luke McDonald just offering a little body there to Max Armstrong. Out top with Jeremy Moore, down inside, Bud Crawford, there it is, slamming it off the backboard.
It's not the first time we've seen the Broncos try those backdoor cuts on the big guys. They're just not falling, and then Crawford in there with the big body slam.
And speaking of falling, the Tigers finally getting their offense in there, and 2 more points in for the Tigers score. 10-0 already, a pretty big margin separating these two teams. And the Tigers just look a little bit better than the Broncos in terms of all facets of the game. And the Tigers, who are normally a pretty good 3-point shooting team, unable to score to this point. The Broncos 0 for 3 to start the night from downtown. Once again, getting it down into Crawford, and I've noticed here a couple of times now as Michael Hall came down there to help on Crawford down low, which you sort of have to do. He's a big guy. He's got a lot of power. He's going to be able to finish down low or at least draw fouls a lot of the time. Austin Robb was left wide open on that perimeter, and that's pretty much Rob's main thing is he's able to shoot the basketball, and he does it pretty well.
There's a lot of guys on this Lee Summit roster that can just shoot them from beyond the arc, just absolutely light it up. Luke McDonald, Austin Robb, Caden McGuire, you leave them wide open, you're going to have a tough time. So the Broncos are just going to have a tough time all game deciding Crawford or the guards. Crawford or the guards, and they're really going to struggle if they keep playing like this because the Tigers just seem to just outrun them back and forth just across the court. They just can't keep up with them.
Well, and the one redeeming quality that's there about Bud Crawford is, well, you saw it on the first one. He lacks a little bit of touch from the free throw line. This time it looked a little better, but he's almost got a Joakim Noah type of shot. It tornadoes around there and switches its spin just about every time it leaves his hands.
Well, unfortunately, those 2 missed free throws makes him 0 for 4 on the year, so he doesn't shoot a lot of them, but it seems like they keep him away from the line when they can.
And if you want to, what you can do is almost go to that hack-a-shack style. Anytime he starts to go up, down low, if you're going to foul him, make sure it doesn't go in, and then force him to shoot at the line. Here comes this Broncos offense once again, though. Just about scoreless here, and we're almost done with the fourth quarter. Crawford gets an unintentional tip on that one, and with just 40 seconds left in the first quarter, we may see a scoreless quarter from Lee Summit North.
If you're McGee, you got to take that strong and get yourself to the line. Sometimes you're just too unselfish. You got to take the rock up with that. That was a bad play.
That's what I've seen a couple of times here tonight from North is they've had those chances down low, and they're just dishing it off, looking for the extra pass, maybe a little bit too much whenever there's strong Tiger presence down low. And if you just go up with it, try to draw a foul, see how that works out for you. Once again, though, McGee kicking out. Here's Childs at the top of the key. Gets it to Aiden Jonas. Max Armstrong once again here, 15 seconds left from a Broncos scoreless first. It's been a low-scoring affair to this point, and especially from the Lee Summit North side of things. Here goes Armstrong down low. No good. McGee, offensive rebound. No good. And the Broncos will end the first quarter scoreless as the full-court effort there from Landon Shepard looked about as good as some of the stuff that we've seen from the Broncos here. And it's going to be a 10-0 first quarter. The Tigers' defense clearly has shown up tonight. We'll see if they can get the offense kicking a little more, but that'll be the end of it here for the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll see you in a moment.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
I was wondering.
Back here and ready for the second quarter of action. Lee Summit High School on top, 10-0 the score at the end of the first quarter. That's right. The Broncos unable to put up anything offensively against Lee Summit there in that first quarter. The Tigers' defense pretty strong, whether it be forcing turnovers or forcing bad shots. They pretty much did everything they needed to defensively there in that first quarter, and they got the job done.
McGee's out there trying to be a playmaker. I know he is, but the baskets are just not falling. And then when he's on the inside, I believe Crawford just makes him fearful a little bit. He's not putting it up. He's being too unselfish down low, but up top it seems like he's being too selfish.
And it's hard to not be a little bit scared after the first shot that was taken in Crawford's direction got thrown off the backboard at about 45 miles an hour. He's a pretty intimidating presence. That sometimes will get him into a little foul trouble, and we'll see that from time to time, but he's much more disciplined than he was in his earlier days of playing basketball, and now in his senior year looks a lot better defensively because of that. Tinsley just about got the steal there. It finds the hands of Jeremy Moore. He's going to have to come alive here and take a couple more shots down low. Shot again, no good that time from Jaden McGee. LaRue unable. No, he is able to save it. It's Tiger basketball. And that's pretty much what the offense has looked like all night from the Broncos. A good extra pass there from Davis Childs. But it was Jaden McGee unable. I think his third miss already from downtown to this point tonight. Shepard, nice move, got it down low to Bud Crawford. Childs obviously knows this Tiger team pretty well, and he understands that if you get him to the line, you can probably limit the amount of points he's going to score.
Oh, yeah.
Bud Crawford shooting for the Tigers.
What do you think? Will Crawford knock his first free throw down?
I think the over/under on him for the year, free throw percentage-wise, if I had to make one up, I'd say it's probably not very high. So we'll see here. But again, the Tigers a 10-point lead already. They don't necessarily need them. So regardless of whether he's a knockdown shooter or not. And there we go. 1 for 4 on the night, free throw shooting. It's always a thing of beauty. I played on the 8th grade basketball team with Bud, and it was quite the celebration anytime he'd make one in practice, because if he missed, we were probably going to be running for a little while, was generally what was on the line. So nice to see him at least put one in there. 11-0 our score. Jeremy Moore going to work down low on Luke McDonald. Shepard overplayed there for a moment, left Childs open in the corner. Broncos trying to work it around. Looked like there could have been a couple carries called that time on Trey Baker. Nonetheless, he misses. The Tigers in transition. Here comes Monte and lays it up and in down there just like that. That's what you got to do, North. Just get you a Monte Kemp, let him go to work down low and put a couple baskets in.
But, I mean, when you don't have a Monte Kemp and you don't have an Alex Benassi on the outside, how are you going to get the ball in the basket? And that's what the Broncos are struggling with. On the inside, they're getting absolutely dominated. On the outside, they can't hit anything. So, I mean, it's going to be a long night.
If you want to look at the size differences and mismatches, Jeremy Moore, pretty clearly the biggest player on that Broncos roster. He's going to be controlling the paint for a lot of the night. And he's being guarded by Luke McDonald, who's normally a point guard or a two guard for the Tigers. So if that says anything about their sizes, I mean, you look at them down low, they're matched up pretty evenly. Once again, the Broncos looking to score here. Here is that matchup. Moore on McDonald, kicks to the corner. Once again, McGee looking for the extra pass, and the Broncos have cracked the scoreboard. Now 13-2, and Jeremy Moore, the first one to finally take the lid off the basket here for Lee Summit North. McDonald tried to get down low there, thought he might have been tripped, but it's going to be signaled for a travel as he tried to get those two back pretty quickly.
North continues to have zero help defense down low, and it's really affecting them. And the Tigers are just able to just go back and forth without any contest to what they're doing.
Well, and like I said earlier, the problem is that when they do have some help defense, they're leaving somebody wide open that's in the area. So they got to be a little more careful with how they're playing the Tigers down low, because you play them too conservative, you're going to leave too many one-on-ones, and they're undersized. You play them too liberal, and you're going to leave empty threes. And that was Bryson LaRue finishing, but thought maybe for a second they might have called a charge, but it's going to be called a block, and Bryson LaRue with the and one, adding to his scoring totals here.
It was a very close call. Could have gone either way, in my opinion.
I thought it looked like maybe the feet were set, but
yeah, that's what I believe too.
Tigers won't complain. 15-2 the score, and LaRue a chance to add his 7th point of the night.
Now, Bryson LaRue, unlike Bud, is shooting 77% from the line this year, 3rd in the conference overall in free throw shooting.
He's pretty knocked down there. There you go. Much better at the line than the alternative that was mentioned. Here comes Armstrong once again. The pass to McGee goes to nobody. Monte Kemp able to steal it. There's those fancy handles from Benassi. And he'll go to the line and shoot 2 again. He sent McGee to the wrong direction there for a moment, then cut it back. Thought he might have beat him down low, and then just gets hammered as he tries to go up and went a little strong off the glass. So no and one from Benassi, but once again, a pretty knockdown free throw shooter and three-point shooter, Alex Benassi here at the line. There you go, 1 for 1 here. 17-2 now our score. .5:16 left here in just the second quarter of play. Again, the story tonight, if you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Wood, Alex Hill on the microphone with me, Blake Heisey running the camera tonight The Tigers up 18-2, and obviously thanking their defensive efforts as they've been able to keep the Broncos from really putting up anything. And you think that maybe the Broncos football team would have put up more points in the first quarter, which is a little bit scary when you start to think about it. As finally, there we go again, Trey Baker taking it inside, and that's what you need a little more of. I think the one-on-ones is where North is going to have more success. I think they've been focused a little bit too much on team ball, going for the extra pass when it isn't necessary. And they're getting the ball taken away from them a lot of times, and at the same time, just unable to score it.
Of course, and I mean, leading back to your comment, I think they might be a little intimidated by the Tigers inside, that they're just scared to take it up by themselves, draw fouls, and at least get to the line.
Here's LaRue. McDonald in the corner, gets it down low. Here's Kemp. Turnaround jump shot, knocks it down right over Moore. Acts like there's no defender there. But what I saw right there, I've seen it a couple of times. They had a couple of wide open players. There was 4 Broncos lining the baseline there. And the Tigers had freedom if they wanted it on the perimeter. But good knockdown jump shot there from the mid-range by Monte Kemp. Clearly a valuable addition to this Tiger team, his first year on varsity.
And usually when a team is struggling with from the outside like the Broncos are, the opposing team will try to dare them to take a 3 and just force them on the inside. But the Tigers are just playing lockdown defense both inside and outside. They're not letting them breathe.
And at the same time, the Broncos 0 for 4 tonight from downtown. So they have that luxury a little bit. You've seen Bud Crawford play very, we'll say, disrespectfully on the perimeter, not really allowing anything for they're allowing the Broncos shooters to take the shots if they want it. But again, when you're 0 for 4, it's a little tough on the outside to get anything going. Tiger lead cut back down to 14. Kemp once again down low, trying to work on Moore. Pass stolen away. Here comes Baker. Maybe a little bit of momentum for the Broncos, but he misses the layup. Good defense by LaRue to force him to an awkward angle. But it'll retain Broncos possession as Benassi tried to go for the rebound and tipped it out of bounds.
Once again, the Broncos backing up on the inside, just intimidated by the Tigers inside, not taking it in, not trying to get to the foul. They're just trying to score as easily as they can, but it's just not working out when you're backing up like that.
3:36 left to play. Big rainbow pass just to get it in here. Jason Reese outside. Working on McGuire, good move to get around him, doesn't go up with it, finds Moore in the corner, the shot no good. Reese on the putback, he's fouled from behind, it looked like, maybe by Kemp. Regardless, he'll go to the line here and shoot 2. Lovely little play that time from Reese, and that's the most confident I've seen the Broncos look tonight as he went one-on-one with McGuire, sort of broke him a little bit there for a moment. Had he gone up with it, probably had a layup in the first place, but went for Moore in the corner instead. And that's when the extra pass, I feel like, is a little more acceptable. And it's a small guy down there, but a lot of times we've seen that coming from McGee, who has the size to go down there with those bigs and is instead opted for the extra pass, which a lot of times is getting stolen or just resulting in no bucket. Reese goes 1 of 2 from the line. Down inside once again, Monte Kemp. That one an air ball on the little one-handed shot down low. Here comes Reese, a guy who you can tell plays with some confidence outside. A little double crossover between the legs. That time the pass taken away. Here comes Benassi, gets it to McGuire. 3-on-2 for the Tigers. A little floater for LaRue, no good. Pass up ahead. Here comes McGee, little Euro step. And it's going to be called a foul on LaRue, so he'll go to the line shooting 2. One thing I will say, a lot of these players that are out there for the Broncos were a part of that JV roster who earlier fell to, let's say, less than half of the Lee Summit High School's score. So that may be a little bit of it. They're a little undersized, a little underexperienced, we'll say. And so they come out here, and when you've already lost to the JV team by quite a bit, it makes it a little tougher to come out there and compete with the varsity guys.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these guys on the Lee Summit team, juniors have been playing since their freshman year, getting varsity minutes. So, I mean, the experience is really helping the Tigers this year, and they're already out to a way hotter start than they were last year.
That's two of them right there. The pass from Benassi, the finish by LaRue, another and one. And Bryson LaRue's good night continues to get better. A chance to put up his 10th point already as he has outscored the Broncos. And we've still got 2:33 left here in the second quarter and a 15-point lead for the Tigers. LaRue again, the Tigers' leading scorer, already coming in and just about touching his season average, right around 15 points per game. He's got 10 of them here as we start tonight. Here's McGee again. Bud Crawford leaving him a lot of room. He's a long guy, so he can get out there if he needs to contest. Another pass down low that's a little bit too strong. McGee here wide open, decides to shoot again, and finally the Broncos will crack the code. A three-pointer put on the board for Lee Summit High School, or for Lee Summit North here.
Let's see if any of that momentum goes toward McGee. He's had a decent quarter, way better than his first, but let's see if he gets any momentum going from beyond the arc.
Tiger offense once again setting up here. LaRue finds Benassi in the corner, coming up top, and finally picked up is McDonald. Into the corner again, LaRue. His third attempt from downtown, again a little too strong. That's one thing that now North has an advantage on Lee Summit. Lee Summit still without a three-point field goal. Good double team that time from McDonald and LaRue. Luke goes inside, and he missed the layup. I guess wanted a foul, but there wasn't really contact enough there to call it. Now in the corner, a little pump fake, driving down inside. That's where you got to finish, in my opinion. Wide open
lane right there.
Solid 5 or 6 feet in between him and Bud Crawford, who was positioned on the other block. Once again, McGee no good from way downtown, and Michael Hall there was the Bronco that took it down low. Should have had 2 easy points there. McDonald there making up for the missed layup that time, and one. And now the 15-point lead for the Tigers is retained.
And McGee's going to get himself a break after an absolute, I'm sure he's gassed after this quarter. He's done a lot of carrying.
A lot of the offense does go through him, whether he's the one that scores it off or is trying to find the open man. A bigger guy, but still able to play like a guard. Clearly a big part of this Bronco offense. We'll see how they move without him as they've added 10 more points than they did in the first quarter here in the second. Moore that time was looking for Armstrong, who started to make a little backdoor cut to the basket. And it'll go to a parent in the stands rather than Armstrong. So once again, Tiger basketball. Just under 50 seconds here remaining. Here's Landon Shepard for 3. No good off the front rim. Tigers still scoreless from downtown.
Guards on the Broncos ends have just had trouble moving without the ball and just communicating in general. They've got to get that if they want to have any chance in the second half. And then the big guys, they're having trouble with those backdoor cuts. The guards aren't feeding to them down there. I mean, that seems to be their strategy all game long. Just feed up top, try to move around the ball, but they're not doing a very good job.
Basketball very much a game of inches. That was one there where you start to see it. Take a little extra dribble to the left-hand side there. He had decent position. The seal wasn't perfect, but the pass just unable to get there because of the angle that it's thrown. And that's where we've seen the problems from the North offense tonight, is it seems like they've maybe rushed things just a little bit. Benassi, top of the key. Little flip pass down low to Crawford, and reliable for the Tigers, able to put up 2 more. 27-10 the score. We've got less than a second remaining here, so this inbounds pass to come is more of a formality than anything. Nobody going to put any more points on the board unless we see some sort of miracle heave that gets caught and tipped in. There we go. Moore not even time to get that one-handed chuck off. It'll be 27-10 our score as we end the second quarter. We'll go into halftime. We'll see you in just a moment. Tigers up big here going into the third quarter. 27-10 the score here from Lee Summit High School, getting ready for the third quarter of action. It's been a fairly low scoring effort. The first quarter ending 10-0. The Broncos scoreless in that quarter. And then both teams picking it up just a little bit there in that second quarter. Finally, the Broncos getting the offense moving just a little bit. But they've still got a pretty big hill to climb here if they're going to come back and take this one away from the Tigers. Again, just Broncos are a little bit undersized and a little bit inexperienced compared to Lee Summit High School, and that's where you see a lot of the disconnect from. Handful of former Tigers in the crowd tonight. You'll see, I believe, Felix Anudike there just sat behind Caden McGuire, former big man for the Tigers, now a lineman at K-State, so good to see him back here. Tigers offense picking up where it started to leave off there. Monte Kemp gets inside and a good finish at the basket. The big man can handle it like a guard, and he did it there. Gets around the defender and a good finish. Here's McGee in the corner going one-on-one. That's what we wanted to see a little bit more of from North, taking those one-on-one chances. It doesn't work out that time, but at least they're getting shots up. Cross-court pass gets tipped away by Davis Childs. It'll stay here with Lee Summit for the moment.
I'll tell you what, Davis is out there trying every single play, doing all the extra things you need to do. He's diving on the floor.
Here's LaRue inside, no good. Monte Kemp the rebound, a foul called on Jeremy Moore down low. Shot was no good, so 2 free throws coming up here. And you mentioned that's one of the things that gets overlooked by Childs a lot. Davis is a very good shooter, but he's also very athletic, really quick. He likes to dive after the ball, get a little scrappy on defense from time to time. He'll guard anybody, he doesn't care. First one no good that time from Kemp. 29-10 our score. See if he can make it a 20-point lead from the Tigers. Unable to do so. 0 for 2 at the line that time from Kemp.
Jordan, I think there might be a bit of separation between the free throw percentage between the guards and the forwards on this Tiger team. What do you think?
I think so. We've seen a pretty good shooting night at the line from LaRue and Benassi, the only 2 guards to get there. But Kemp and Crawford been pretty unsuccessful. They are a combined 1 for 6 at the free throw line tonight. Here's Benassi, top of the key, picked up his dribble there. Tigers looking a lot more fluid on offense to start this second half, and that's Bryson LaRue with a good finish at the rim. Up to 12 points now, equaling the Broncos totals, and he's just 3 points away from his season average, and we, again, are just starting the second half here. Childs a little shot fake, gets it inside, now kicks back out. Nice take that time, but no finish from Mayon Windsor. Childs the only one back. A pass from Benassi inside to LaRue and an and one. As Bryson makes it now 14 points and another solid finish in there despite the contact. If you've been counting along with us, that's his 3rd and one to this point.
The run and gun offense of this Tiger team is just insane right now. They're just outrunning the Bronco defense, and it's just insane to watch. The Broncos just cannot keep up. They get a rebound, they make a couple of passes, boom, they're at the basket every single time. They're not even stopping to set up a play. The guards just know what to do. It's like they run 3-man weave every practice. They have to.
The Tigers pride themselves on transition offense, and that's where we've seen a majority of their points tonight. 34-12, they can increase their lead in a flash. They like to play quick, and they like to play with confidence, and that's what we're seeing out of Lee Summit tonight so far. And like I was saying earlier, they've come out here in this second half, and even when they're running their sets on offense, they've shown the confidence that they need to put points on the board. Straying away just a little bit from the three-point shot, which they relied on quite a bit last year to create their offense. And this year, so far, at least tonight, they've been getting into the basket and finishing at the rim, a lot more higher percentage looks, and it's led to, I think, more confidence. You'll see the guards dribbling around a lot more free, looking for the open man a little bit easier, and not having to rely on that triple. And it helps when you have defense like that. Monte Kemp getting out there for the shot contest once again. Here comes that transition offense. Caden McGuire, he can shoot it, and he does. A three-pointer, and the Tigers, believe it or not, that's going to be their first three-point shot of the night.
Imagine if they were hitting them, Jordan. I mean, oh my gosh.
They didn't really shoot many in the second quarter, but they went, I think, 0 for 3 in the first. And now 1 for 1 here to start the third. So maybe just all facets of this Tiger team improving here as we enter the third quarter.
I mean, when you're getting inside as easily as the Tigers have, you don't really need to rely on it.
That pass, no-look effort from Benassi gets a little bit away from McGuire, who looked like he was ready to square another one up. And like you said, the Tigers getting inside at will, and they're doing it by sort of running a little bit of a 5-out type of offense. All of their players hanging there around the perimeter, setting up some off-ball screens, getting guys to the perimeter, getting it to that big man who occasionally will drift inside and letting somebody get a little cut in. That's what the Tigers have looked like here to start the second half. Jason Reese has played very confidently here in the minutes that he's gotten.
But, I mean, that's what you need for the Broncos right now. You need someone to step up and try to make some plays and just stop being unselfish a little bit. You need some selfish basketball if you want at least a chance to be in this game with some dignity.
Well, and I mean, look at the Tigers. Bryson LaRue has put up now 15 points against this Broncos team, outscoring the Broncos. McGuire, no good from the corner. Going to follow up, tries to get his own rebound there. Tripped on McGee's foot. Here comes the Broncos into Moore. Looks for the kick out for a moment, decides to take it himself. Nice little spin move, but the touch not quite there. Here come the Tigers, a half-court lob, and LaRue unable to get to it.
Coach Little just looked at Alex Benassi right there like, really, man? Gave him just a bit of a stare there, like, don't try that again.
In a close game, I don't know that we see the Tigers pull that out, but hey, in a crosstown rivalry, maybe, and in a crosstown rivalry where you're essentially just handing the other team a whooping to this point, I think you can get away with it a little more so than you would, again, in a close game where there's not as much on the line that the teams are playing for. Another take to the basket, that time unsuccessful from Windsor.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that these teams are in separate conferences. This game is not a conference game. This is a non-conference game for both these teams. But the Tigers actually have not started conference play yet, but the Broncos have. They're 0-3 in their conference, obviously being 0-5. But it's very interesting what COVID has done to the different records this season. You got some teams who have played 10 to 12 games, some teams only playing 5 to 6. So it's really interesting the number of games each team in each conference has played.
And one thing you will say is that it may not be a conference game, but again, it's almost like when Missouri left the Big 12, and here and there every few years we'll get blessed with an MU-KU game. There's still a lot there in that rivalry, still holds a lot of water, and that's what this type of game is. A lot of bragging rights on the line. That pass nearly got through. Good defensive effort by the Broncos. Another pass down inside. Kemp lost it off his knee. He looked like he wanted to go up strong with that one. That was Michael Livingston that actually will get the credit there by knocking that initial bounce pass away, able to almost dive in front of it and make sure that it doesn't get through down low.
Creds to Trey Baker, too. He came in a little bit late on that one. Here comes Monte Kemp.
Kemp's got a chance to rise up and throw it down, and he threw it off the back of the rim. And a lot of smiles from this Tigers bench as
once again, McGuire, Benassi just absolutely just swiping it all game from the Broncos. McGuire there just with the quick hands, Benassi all game too. It's been an absolute just dominant performance by the guards on guards defense from the Tigers.
Couple of Tigers defense players running over there to Kemp to let him know it's all right. They get away from time to time, and it definitely did there. And just a little bit too excited, I think, on that one. 3 Tigers collapsing on defense. Good rotation from Austin Robb. Got a hand up in the face of Trey Baker. The shot still knocked down, though, despite, again, great defense from Austin Robb to rotate and get to him. That's not his assignment, but he still nearly got the job done. Kemp, top of the key, no good, just inside the three-point line. McDonald saving it, throwing it backwards again, saved by Kemp. The attempt at the other end, no good from Baker, and I'd like to point out Austin Robb grabbed Kemp in the air and saved him from sliding in as he's finally going to finish inside, making up for the missed dunk earlier with the break in the play. an interesting sequence here. We saw a Monte Kemp missed dunk, which he's going to get a little bit of stick for probably. Then a double backward save from the Tigers. That was Kemp throwing it back most recently, and Austin Robb catching him before he slides into the stands.
And the whole Tigers bench having a ball with that one. That was a funny moment.
Well, and again, how can you not? The Tigers coming out here, getting the job done to this point, a 24-point lead. And not only that, they are up 24 points, and the Broncos have just 15. So you probably don't favor Lee Summit North even as early as it is, because how can you favor a team that's losing by more points than they've been able to put up?
Yeah.
Especially as late as it is here. Just 2:20 left in this third quarter of play. 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the ball game.
And I mean, it just another narrative to this Broncos story. I mean, they had 3-on-1 there and they couldn't put it away. And then on the other end in the first half, they would have wide open lanes to the bucket, just would pass it off, just be too unselfish. So it's just a narrative. They're just not finding these open lanes when they're having these opportunities. And I think that's causing the scoring difference right now. McGee up with it and the gut goes in.
And that, I think, honestly, if you look at it, Jason Reese and Jaden McGee have been the two standout players for me for North. McGee maybe not putting as many points in as he'd like, as Robb comes inside, no good. Not putting up as many points as he would like, but he's looking for the baskets, and good defense that time by Luke McDonald. Shades of a James Harden no-look swat down in the fast break. But regardless, you've seen Jason Reese be very aggressive trying to get to the hole, and they're realizing when it's right for the extra pass to come through rather than just immediately looking to get it away or take it up, which some of the Broncos been a little too one-dimensional tonight. Here's Childs, a chance to make up for earlier in the second time tonight. Davis has airballed from the corner. A little too strong, maybe hitting the weight room too much. Here comes Shepard down low. The extra pass inside, and McDonald's going to finish.
And the disrespect, just handing the ball to Childs, that has to be so disrespectful.
Childs scoreless to this point. Again, a knockdown shooter normally, but tonight just come out here. He's 0 for 2 on the 2 chances that he's gotten. A lot of contact there from Crawford. That'll send Moore to the line.
And Moore really has been the inside game for the Broncos. I mean, they just keep feeding him in, and they try to get him backdoor cuts, but it's just not working out for Moore really tonight. I mean, when you have big guys like McDonald and Crawford in there, he's not doing anything. And when, I mean, McDonald's just a guard for the Tigers, as you mentioned earlier, but he's still utterly dominating Moore on the inside. Moore, what does he have, 4 points tonight? Just absolutely struggling. And when you don't have the inside game and you're not knocking it from the outside, you're not going to have a very good game.
And free throws, especially when you're down, a big part of it. The Broncos, once again, just going 1 for 2 at the line. But if you look at the Broncos team from last year compared to this year, they lose a lot of size and quite a few seniors. The Tigers lost some size and some seniors as well, but they kept it with their strong junior core. Bud Crawford, is that Zion Williamson down there ripping it out of the hands of the man who got the rebound and then laying it up at the finish of the play. That was beautiful from Crawford. Fearless down there down low, and why would you be scared when you're as tall as he is and as strong as he is,
with
showing
such
it off there.
finesse, too. There was very little contact on that strip. So impressive. Great hands by Crawford for such a big guy.
And what you'd want to see out of Crawford, what we've said before, the one gripe you could take away from offense from him, except for free throws, has been his ability to finish at the rim, just a little too strong sometimes. McGee, once again, no good from downtown. He used to take it up and go very hard off of the glass. That time calling for the alley-oop. He got the pass just a little short. But he used to take it up a little too strong and sort of throw it off the backboard, and you can't do that. And he's learned a lot more. If you look at him tonight, his percentage inside a lot higher than it normally used to be. And you credit that a lot to just taking a little steam off of it and showing a little more touch around the rim, just like he did with that strip down low. Once again, here comes North. The rising shot from Baker is good from just beyond the elbow. 43-20, just 15 seconds left. Here comes Austin Robb. Gets it to Shepard. Once again, the Tigers back in that familiar motion style offense. Pass there got tipped by Childs 2 seconds, 1 second, step back three.
Oh.
No good. That one looked like he might have gotten the shooter's roll on it, and instead just falling a little short. We'll take a quick break here. We'll see you at the start of the fourth quarter. Once again, 43-20 our score. We'll be back in just a moment.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state. The Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport and helping every student athlete play healthy.
Fourth quarter of play set to return here in just a moment. Again, 43-20. If you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Wood, Alex Hill alongside me, Blake Heisey running the camera for tonight's action. 8 more minutes of play here from Lee Summit High School, and it's been all Lee Summit dominating currently against the crosstown rivals. We've seen a lot more free play from their offense, we'll say, in this second half. Bud takes an extra step there, picked up the pivot looking for the pass to the corner. It will be whistled quickly for the travel. Crawford looks a lot more refined down low, taking his time, showing a little more touch around the rim, and he's put up quite a few of this Tiger 43 tonight.
Oh, 100%, and credit to him for staying out of foul trouble. I know he's had trouble with that sometimes this year, including the West loss earlier, but he really has done a great job tonight staying out of foul trouble. But when you have that much of a mismatch, I think you'll be just fine.
And as you said it, he gets whistled for one down low. Looked like he might have gone straight up, but his left hand tended to old habits, and he sort of reaches down there and gets a tap on the arm of Moore, which is enough to send him to the line. Good on the first one. And good on the second as well. Moore makes the score now 43-22. Shot in the corner, just a little bit too strong after the good move to free himself up there. That was Alex Kramer, no good. Again, the head fake was good enough, but the shot a little too strong.
And Kramer making the most of his minutes. That shot fake sent Armstrong to outside the playing floor.
Benassi, drive, jump, kick. LaRue, the extra pass, and Kramer makes up for it immediately. You said he's got limited minutes, but doesn't matter there. Putting 3 points on the board and shooting a lot better than the rest of his Tiger teammates already. 1 for 2 here to start. The drive inside, no good from McGee, and he's had a rough night putting it in the basket. Again, another lob from Benassi. That time LaRue unable to finish it off. But there's big old Bud Crawford down low, and he will get the job done. Vacuuming that one up and putting it in. Here comes Armstrong, little one-on-one. Gonna get it to Jason Reese. Now McGee down low, that time fouled by Crawford again. I believe that's Bud's third, so he'll have to be careful.
Well, again, I think that announcer's curse, once again getting with Bud. Now he's in foul trouble. Sorry about that, Bud, if you eventually watch this.
Seemed like the moment you mentioned it, he picks up 2 quick ones. First one good from McGee. Again, rough night shooting and scoring tonight for McGee, but you can't really fault just him for that. It's been something that's plagued the rest of the Broncos tonight as well, as he goes 1 for 2 at the line. And another thing there that you'll see separating the two teams, even the guards for Lee Summit North, not really been able to knock down at the line like Lee Summit High School has. They'll force the switch there. Here comes McGuire. Good help from McGee. Kick out to Benassi. He still hasn't shot from downtown yet.
Which is very surprising.
Bud Crawford no good inside. You mentioned that being surprising. Benassi, especially last year, got the majority of his points from way downtown. He's got very limitless range. He likes to go up with it from forever away, and he'll still knock it down.
And they're going to leave that as a no call. If they would have called that a charge or a block against Kramer. Again, a very close call. They could have gone either way, but they're just going to leave it alone. Benassi to Kramer with the backdoor cut.
Nice high IQ drive inside there, just unable to finish. And the Tigers like to look for that, whether it's at the middle school level or the high school level. They like to try to take a lot of charges, and I think that's what Kramer was doing there. Here comes LaRue, not even needing a dribble as the Tigers will finish. LaRue has 17, and what a night it's been for him scoring the ball. Didn't score in the third, but or rather he scored once, another and one, his third of the night earlier on, but not much else. Shot no good that time in the corner by Armstrong. Here comes McGuire, lobs one up to Crawford, who threw it off the rim, but the foul is on the floor. And McGuire and Crawford having a laugh about it. They would have liked that one back, whether it was after the whistle or not.
Moments like that make you really miss a full gym. I'll tell you what, that insane loud crowd, insane arena in general.
We've seen, we saw a missed dunk earlier from Monte Kemp, but it was the junior varsity team that came out pretty high flying earlier. In just the second half alone, it was Josh Manning who was able to get 2 dunks. So pretty impressive hops from him. He got the fast break opportunities and didn't miss them. Shepard's going to get it back after the errant pass to Kramer. Here's Rob for 3, his first of the night, no good. Rebound that time by Jonas. He's going to keep it for a second, looking for the pass. Here comes Reese, gets it down low. Moore off the backboard, and a good finish despite the good defense from the Tigers in recovery. Here comes Tinsley up the floor now, still scoreless. Now Austin Robb on the wing. Cross-court pass, here's Shepard driving down low. Kramer will give him the space he needs, and that's the little things that the Tigers have been doing. Kramer realizing Shepard's probably got a better chance than him of scoring down low. He's going to clear out that low block, take his man out to the perimeter, and an easy finish that time from Shepard. Kick out to the corner. Shot from just beyond the elbow is way off. That time no good from Windsor. Pass down court to Tinsley, unable to get there. It's looked like an all-star game almost here these last couple of minutes. Just transition shot after transition shot, and finally Moore able to finish down low.
And even more than the second half, I mean, they've just been doing this all game to where the Broncos will just leave them in no man's land. We'll just be in no man's land on the other side of the floor, and they'll just be wide open on the other side. It's insane the level of speed this Tiger team has over the Broncos.
And that starts with the offense of the Broncos. There's Rob knocking one down on the corner, the senior putting up his first 3 of the night. Like I was saying, the Broncos, the offense has to be a little better, limit the turnovers and limit the missed shots. And then Lee Summit doesn't have a chance for those fast break opportunities. But there we go again. Tigers already out and running, and there's just 2 back for the Broncos. The Tigers this time will let their foot off the gas a little bit. Here's Hobson outside, getting his first minutes, taking it down low. Shot from the block, no good. Tinsley went up for it. High flying, unable to get the rebound. Reese trying to get it down low to Jonas. Moore's going to pick it up instead and finishing down low after his slow start. Picking things up here a little bit. Here's Shepard the other way. Little Euro in the lane, no good. Picks his own rebound up, gets it to Hobson. The 3 in the corner. And if the guards aren't going to get the shooting done, the bigs will. Logan Hobson from downtown and letting North know about it a little bit. A celebration after the jumper. Here comes Moore trying to get 2 of those back. It's going to be a foul on Hobson.
I mean, when you have 2.5 minutes left and you're up by more than 20, I mean, you can basically do whatever you want. And those guys coming off the bench, it's great to see them score, especially the big guys.
Well, and who'd have thought, if it's not going to be Bryson LaRue and Cade McGuire shooting, let's give it to Logan Hobson in the corner. He'll be our knockdown shooter for tonight. But, hey, if you're going to knock him down, you're going to knock him down. And shooters shoot, Alex, and that's exactly what Hobson did there, knocking it down. He did a little LeBron look down at the ball, gather step, and shot from the corner and knocked it down.
Josh Manning checking in for the Tigers.
Second free throw from Moore is good, so another 1 of 2 from the line. I think if you look at the Broncos and you take maybe half of their free throw attempts, if you increase the free throw made from 1 of 2 to 2 to 2, this game is a lot closer than it is because, again, they've had a lot of scoreless efforts. Couple of players coming in here for the first time tonight. Malik Tinsley getting his first bucket of the night, a strong finish at the rim.
And the Tigers have broken 16, continue their hot start on offense for the year.
Tinsley getting the rebound at the other end. Look up to Jackson Sumrall getting his first minutes of the contest. The finish at the rim is good. And the senior with the celebration. He plays with limited minutes, and he's going to let everyone know about that one. An and one against Lee Summit North, and similar to Hobson, he'll take the 3 points if he can get them here, barring a missed free throw. We're also seeing Elijah Jackson out there for the first time tonight, and Josh Manning, the previously mentioned high flyer from the junior varsity squad, out there as well.
It's great when you're on the positive side of a blowout. You're able to just put in all the guys who don't have as much experience or just don't get the minutes, and it's just great to see them excited.
Well, and they're coming out here and playing pretty well. I mean, look at it. They're playing against the North lineups that we've been seeing all night long, and it doesn't matter. They're out there putting the ball in the basket and scoring almost at will, it looks like. They're not really coming up with a lot of empty possessions. Tinsley going to find Jackson. Good friends for a long time. Jackson going to the hole. No good in the left-handed finish. Rebound by Manning, and he's going to lay it up with his left hand. So, again, these guys are still out there playing with a lot of heart and effort, and that's just been the difference. They're out there getting those second-chance buckets when needed. And
that's been the theme all game. I mean, they've just gotten offensive rebound after offensive rebound. And, again, it's the size difference, but it's not hard to teach a box out, you know.
Well, and from time to time you'll see that they'll even have positioning, and it doesn't matter. The Tigers still able to fight for position down low regardless of the box out. Here's a zone. Jackson flinging one up with the left hand and finishing.
I think that was a bit of a heat check there, and it still went in.
Look at what I found. Elijah Jackson with his first 2 points of the night. Hobson wasn't quite set down low. He's going to get whistled for the foul. And it's going to be Max Armstrong going to the line. But this has been a fun last couple of minutes to watch here. 20 seconds on the clock. It's still running despite Armstrong at the line. That's the rule here. And
all right,
the Tigers here with this blowout effort of 67 to currently 33. I think you almost just take that and run with it and are happy the game's almost over.
Well, Jordan, great news for the Tigers. They now tie St. Joe Central for second in the Suburban Red Conference with an 8-2 record. They're still behind Staley, though, at 7-1. Staley's having an amazing season. And then, unfortunately for Lee Summit North, they are, of course, in the Suburban Gold Conference. They're going to drop to 0-6 and stay in last place in the Suburban Gold. But on Friday, Tigers are going on to play Sullivan High School at home. And any final thoughts, Jordan?
It was a slow start, I think, for both teams. North especially, who was unable to put up any points there in that first quarter.
Yeah.
Both teams eventually finding a little bit of a rhythm, if you want to call it that. The Tigers looked a lot more like themselves there in the second, third, and fourth quarters, especially in the latter half of that game. And a blowout victory, and you can't ask for anything else from Lee Summit. 67-33, our final score. That's going to do it for us here from Lee Summit High School. We sure do appreciate you joining us along this journey. Again, for Jordan Wood, Alex Hill, and Blake Heisey, this has been Tiger broadcast coverage of Tiger basketball. It's been a good one. We'll see you later. Have a good night.